Non, oui, c'est pas vraiment comme je voulais, surtout la première course. La première course, c'est difficile à expliquer pour moi aussi. C'était juste vraiment une catastrophe du début à la fin. J'ai jamais fait ça. Alors, c'était quelque chose vraiment pour oublier et puis refaire la prochaine fois. Après, dimanche passé, c'était pas mal pour ça. J'étais contente. C'est juste les chronos n'étaient pas bien du tout. J'ai fait un peu une course comme d'habitude. Je fais au début de la saison où les premiers 60-70 mètres, ils étaient pas mal. Et puis à la fin, j'ai toujours un petit peu la peine. Mais normalement, ça vient plus vite de course en course. Alors, ouais, je crois que ça va aller.
C'était difficile pour toi de faire le voyage à Stanford, courir, hop et revenir? Tu n'as pas l'habitude de faire ces allers-retours aussi longs? Non.
Bon, l'année passée, j'ai fait, oui, deux fois un voyage comme ça. Mais oui, pour aller, c'est aller. Mais pour retourner, j'étais quand même un peu fatiguée. Mais ouais. C'est les top athlètes des États-Unis font ça chaque année. Alors c'est quelque chose, il faut juste apprendre à vivre avec.
Jinga, two questions for you. One is about your first races, which haven't been too satisfying either. And second question is you're traveling back and forth from Stanford and back to Stanford and back to Switzerland for these races. Well, indeed, the first races haven't been the way I wanted them to be, especially the first race. Let's say it was an absolute disaster, and I don't know exactly why it went that bad. Last Sunday it was not that bad, but in terms of the result, it wasn't good either. It felt like the kind of races you do in the early season, so with 60-70 meters, quite fine in the race, but then a very average or even worse end of the race. But that's normal, and now I'm getting back on track. With regards to Stanford, it's true that going into Stanford was fine. Coming back wasn't too easy, but I think that's something you have to get used to. And I always keep telling myself that this is what American athletes do day in or month in, month out, year in, year out. So it literally comes with the business.
C'est vrai que le fait d'avoir eu le changement pour Papendal a aussi été une des raisons peut-être pourquoi le début de saison a été plus compliqué. J'ai déjà effectué 2 séjours là-bas. Le premier m'a coûté passablement d'énergie parce qu'il y a tout qui était nouveau, le nouveau groupe d'entraînement, trouver les logements, comprendre comment fonctionne le système là-bas. Donc, c'est vrai que ça a coûté un peu d'énergie.
I think we try to focus a little bit more on quality and less on quantity. Yeah. So this has a little bit changed, but not that much.
Première question, qu'est-ce que je m'entraîne seule? Oui, quand je suis en Suisse, généralement c'est pendant la période de compétition, donc les entraînements sont un peu plus légers, moins importants qu'en période de préparation où là je suis vraiment en Hollande avec Laurent. Et oui, quand je suis ici en Suisse, je m'entraîne relativement seule entre Nyon et Lausanne. Les entraînements de technique, je les fais avec un entraîneur, Peter Haas, qui est à la fédération, qui m'aide sur la technique et où là j'ai vraiment besoin de quelqu'un. Et puis après, avec l'expérience et l'âge, je commence à savoir aussi m'entraîner seule et je connais les plans d'entraînement assez par cœur maintenant depuis le temps. Donc c'est pas un trop gros problème. Et puis la relation avec mon entraîneur, elle a changé forcément, elle a dû s'adapter à cette nouvelle situation, mais c'est pas un changement drastique. Les contacts sont toujours les mêmes et les feedbacks sont pareils. Donc pour moi, c'est pas un grand changement.
What has changed for you with Laurent and because you're spending much more time alone training in Switzerland here, I guess? Well, actually, the trainings I do here in Switzerland, or rather mostly in Switzerland when it's during the competition season. So the trainings I'm doing here in Switzerland are rather light compared to the trainings I do on other sessions when training in the Netherlands. So I train here between Nyon and Lausanne on my own with regards to the hurdles technique. being helped by Peter Haas from the Swiss Federation. It's really important for me to have someone monitoring and assessing and giving me feedback on my hurdling technique. With regards to the rest of the training, I have to say that now that I'm a little bit older and more experienced, I can do quite a lot of this training on my own. This is not a worry. And now with regards to Laurent, well, we had to adjust slightly to the new situation, but no big change actually. We still have exchange a lot, talk a lot, and he gives me a lot of feedback. Alex, how do you feel after these two new national records which you set just last Sunday, and how do you deal with the fact of being in the European lead right now?
Oh, running fast is tough. I feel my body afterwards, but I'm good. I am excited to run tomorrow, and I feel very good in shape to perform again.
You basically said, who's the boss of the sprints now since Usain is gone? I guess my answer would be that I like where the sprints are right now. It's like a gun show at the OK Corral. You got a lot of very talented athletes who are going to step up, and I think that's what make people want to get in the seats and see who's going to be the winner. It's not a clear favorite always, so you always have to be on top of your game. I like that a lot.
I have to agree with Justin. You know, I like how every race is more now getting into a who's going to win situation. There's a lot of rivalries coming up, especially in the U.S. It's actually very exciting. After my race in Rome, I got a lot of messages saying, like, you and Norman, that was like the best race I've seen in years. And I was like, really? Because, you know, it was a good race, but I feel like there's a lot of races out there. But it's just exciting to see fans coming out and getting excited to, you know, choose sides and just watching a race because it's a great race.
Tell us now which events you will be competing in at the US trials.
I'm going to be in the 200. As of now, it's just the 200.
Alors, en ce qui me concerne, c'est le 200 uniquement pour l'instant.
And I'm going to be competing in the shot put.
Et moi, c'est le lancer du poids.
You know, it's so funny because you see a lot of athletes who jump into 100 meters just because they can jump into 100 meters, but you don't see a lot of 100-meter runners who can like jump into the hurdles or anything else. So I would love to be able to do long jump or something like that.
Maybe
javelin, right? Yeah. I'm going to do the 100 and try my couple rounds of the 100 and see how I feel from there.
I'm actually really excited because this has kind of been the year I've been waiting for. I've been watching guys like Justin over here, you know, Tyson, Usain Bolt running for years, and it's like, you know, when is it going to be our turn? And I feel like now this is like my generation. This is the time where we get to step up and say, you know, we're ready. We're ready to be able to go to world championships. Like, we know we have the ability, we have the confidence, and to be honest, I'm like, I feel like if enough of us got together, we could run a pretty quick 4x1. You know, maybe challenge some world records. I don't know. But I'm excited. This is definitely what I've been waiting for. It's a stage to perform on and fast people to run against.
Well, let me tell you, I'm no Michael Norman for sure. It was just for prepping myself, getting my body ready, you know, for the season, building up some endurance. I definitely didn't want to hurt in the last 100 meters. I could have ran faster. I definitely didn't want to hurt in the last 100 meters, but it felt good. It was a good experience. My first time ever running an open 400 ever in my life. I would try it again. I think if some of the guys, like if Noah wanted to run like a crazy 4x4, I would try it with them. You know, try to see exactly how fast we can go and laugh at each other at the end.
Did you suffer a lot during the race?
During the race?
Especially the last 100.
I didn't get out as fast as I should have, so I had enough energy to bring home. Yeah, so I didn't stumble across the line.
Tell us a little bit more about this season. It's very different because of the World Championships that will take place much later. Si nos puedes contar un poquito de esta temporada porque es muy especial, porque Doha va a ser solo en octubre.
Bueno, sí, muchas gracias a todos por la oportunidad. Y sí, es cierto, es una temporada un poco especial, ya que tenemos el Campeonato Mundial en octubre, pero bueno, eso en mi caso personal no pienso mucho en eso, ¿no? Solo intento ir competencia tras competencia, sobre todo en las ligas de diamantes, intentar dar lo mejor posible.
Yes, it's true. This season is a little bit special with these World Championships coming up very late. But personally, I don't think about it too much. I go from race to race and from training to training. Donc c'est vrai que cette saison est un peu spéciale avec ces championnats du monde en octobre, mais personnellement, je n'y pense pas trop. Je regarde de course en course et d'entraînement en entraînement. You have a new coach. Can you tell us a little bit more about the changes you had to do and tell us more about this new coach? Has cambiado de entrenador, ¿nos puedes racontar un poquito más de los cambios y también de tu vida con tu nuevo coach?
Sí, la verdad es que gracias a Dios nos va muy bien. Llevamos apenas 4 meses trabajando juntos y nada, muy contento, muy feliz por todos los cambios realizados. Gracias a Dios están saliendo muy bien los resultados y cada día intentamos por lo menos seguir dando lo mejor en cada competencia. Hasta ahora todo va muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Thanks, God, we have been able to train together very well, and it has been going very well already, despite the fact that this change occurred just 4 months ago. So far, we're very happy with both the training and the results, and we're working hard to doing our best every day. Grâce à Dieu, ce changement d'entraîneur s'est très très bien déroulé. Ça fait que 4 mois que nous nous entraînons ensemble, mais nous sommes vraiment très heureux de la façon dont se déroulent les entraînements et les résultats que nous obtenons. Nous travaillons chaque jour dur pour donner le meilleur de moi-même, de nous-mêmes. Why did you feel you needed a change? Did you need more like technical expertise or change something in your core training, or you just needed a change to have something new? ¿Por qué necesitabas este cambio? ¿Algo de técnico, de preparación física, preparación general, o querías un cambio para hacer un cambio o testar algo nuevo?
No, creo que básicamente fue más, creo que por mentalidad, intentar cambiar más lo que era mi mentalidad, querer un poco más. Soy muy ambicioso, soy un atleta muy ambicioso. Y bueno, sí, el trabajo siempre es lo más importante, pero sobre todo creo que gran parte de mi cambio de querer cambiar de entrenador fue más por intentar buscar otros objetivos y otra nueva visión.
Well, I needed a new approach. I always want more. I have ambitions. I want to work more and more, and I had new goals. And as I said, I needed to have a new vision and a new approach. C'était vraiment pour changer de mentalité. J'en voulais plus ou j'en veux plus. Je veux travailler plus. J'ai de nouveaux objectifs, et donc je voulais travailler avec une nouvelle approche et de nouvelles visions. Social media, if you hadn't done athletics, which sports would you have chosen? Una pregunta de los social media: si no hubieras hecho atletismo, ¿cuál deporte habrías elegido?
Wow. Big question. Creo que soy una persona muy deportiva. Me gustan mucho los deportes y antes de comenzar el atletismo, a los 12 años, había practicado boxeo y taekwondo. Entonces, pues, no lo sé, no sabría decirte si no hubiese hecho atletismo o si tuviera la oportunidad de hacer otro deporte. Me gusta mucho el fútbol, béisbol, baloncesto. Soy muy de deporte.
I'm a very sporty person, and before doing athletics, I did various sports such as taekwondo, and I enjoy football, I enjoy baseball, I enjoy basketball, so very sporty, as I said. Je suis très, très sportif. Avant de me concentrer sur l'athlétisme, j'ai notamment fait du taekwondo, mais j'aime aussi beaucoup le football, le baseball, le basketball, donc il y a vraiment beaucoup de sports qui auraient pu me plaire. Element or the area where you think you can improve the most. ¿Cuál es la parte donde piensas que puedes mejorar mucho en el futuro?
Bueno, hasta ahora estamos intentando seguir mejorando sobre todo lo que es la primera parte de las carreras. Intentamos, tanto yo como mi entrenador, de seguir mejorando esos pequeños detalles que son los que marcan la diferencia a la hora de un gran resultado. Y seguimos trabajando tanto en la técnica, velocidad, como todas las grandes partes de la carrera. O sea, para mí lo que es correr toda la parte de la carrera es importante, tanto velocidad, fuerza como potencia. Todas esas cosas son partes importantes. Intento mejorarla cada día más.
We're working on many things. One of the aspects is the first part of the race, but also in general of all the little and yet very important details of the race. So we're working on technique, on speed, on strength, and we do this day in, day out. Alors on travaille sur beaucoup de choses, mais notamment la première partie de la course. On travaille aussi de façon très générale sur les nombreux détails qui font la différence entre une bonne course et une course parfaite. Et on travaille vraiment surtout sur la technique, sur la vitesse, sur la force, et on fait ça tous les jours. So you compete in Stockholm recently. It was pretty cold. The conditions were pretty bad, and I was very impressed by your race. To me, you gave the impression that you were almost as strong as when you did your PB race. Were you also surprised by your race and your sensations?
Thank you, first and foremost, for us. It's a nice compliment, so thank you and good morning, everybody. But yeah, actually, in Stockholm it was cold, and obviously I just went out there wanting to run the best race that I could, hit all the points that my coach told me to, and win the race. And I didn't think that I was going to run that time. When I crossed the line, I actually kind of just threw the time away in my head because I thought it was going to be windy or something, because I just didn't believe that I'd run that in that conditions. But I mean, it bodes well. I'm in good shape, and I've had a good winter, and we've worked really hard with all my team to make sure I'm in good shape this season. So it's not a complete surprise, but I was really happy to do it in those conditions in Stockholm. Yeah.
Impressed by you, Shelian, and by your comeback, and especially now comeback in an amazing shape. You are as strong as Elaine Thompson, with whom you are training. How do you explain that you are back so fast as you're now?
How do I explain that? I would definitely say hard work. And I remember when I got pregnant, I went to my coach and I was saying that, I'm pregnant. And he was like, okay. And I remember his words to me were, enjoy your pregnancy, make sure you train up to 6 months, do not put on additional weight, and just let me worry about you coming back and just putting in the work. And when I came back in 2018, I was just patient and taking my time to come back. And then 2019, I just really head down and try to stay focused. I was still very hungry. I'm still very hungry to achieve and to, just push myself to achieving good times and just having a fantastic season.
Quand on devient mère, est-ce que la motivation est toujours aussi forte? Peut-être elle est même plus forte pour plaire, pour montrer quelque chose à son enfant.
How is it when you become a mom? Is the motivation still as strong as it used to be, or maybe is it even stronger? Maybe you want to show something to your baby boy?
Yes, motivation is definitely stronger than before, because as female athletes, a lot of times we females tend to put their families on hold because we're so afraid of taking the time to start our family, because a lot of persons believe that you can't come back from having a baby. So for me, my motivation was definitely stronger to show that for us as female athletes, once we believe that we can, then we have to put in the work, and we have to also set a standard, not just for me as an athlete, but for other female athletes, to understand that sometimes persons will have their opinions on what you're able to do or what you can't do, and it's up to you to actually push that barrier and just dig deep. And I'm just, I'm really happy that I took the time away and I'm back, because, mentally, being an athlete that's been competing for over 11 years or more, it definitely takes a toll on you. And, having that break was really a refresher for me as an athlete. And, now that I'm back, having my son, that's even more motivation, for me. And hopefully he'll be able to see his mom stand on the podium in Doha.
What do you think about Shelian and about her comeback? Are you also impressed by her being back at this level?
I am. I think it's been a joy to watch as both a fan of Shelian, because obviously I remember watching her in Beijing, but also now a competitor. I think it's been really inspiring and amazing. I remember at the press conference last year in London, I remember we were talking about it, and then I think you run sub 11 by then or something, and I was like, Shelly-Ann's back. I don't care what anybody has to say. If you go sub 11 and you just had a baby, you're back. That's what it means, and I think it's absolutely amazing. I mean, as Shelly-Ann said, lots of people try and tell you what you can and can't do as a female athlete. So the fact that she's had a child, got had a break, as she said, and got a renewed sense of focus and motivation, and come and run amazing world-leading times already in the season, I think is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I think it's really cool.
Of competition in training, I just think that we both train really hard in practice, and in terms of, you know, I don't think our competitiveness really shows in practice that much, because we're like, yeah, we're just training and we push each other to train harder, but it's like one of those unspoken things that happens, you know, it's here or there, but we just know that when we get to the line, we're each gonna, you know, train hard and try to hit the times. And it's just good for me to be in an atmosphere where you have you know, a young athlete that's equally as driven as I am, because it keeps you on your toes, and it also reminds you of, you know, who you are as an athlete and who, you know, you aspire to continue to be, because you have young athletes that want to become Olympic champions, and to be able to train among, you know, young athletes that are equally motivated as you is just a win-win situation for me.
Running or training become like an obsession and almost an addiction? Does that come with time?
I think so. For me, I think if you want to be the best at anything, it sort of becomes an obsession, because it's almost like you want to be perfect at what you do, so you're constantly trying to evolve as an athlete, and that requires time, it requires dedication and just pushing, you know. So for me, I definitely think it can become addicting. It's just about finding the balance and knowing that at the end of the day, you know, what you do on the track, you still have a life after, you know, coming off the track. So you just have to try and balance both. But yeah, it's an addiction.
Good addiction.
Yeah, I probably like to mirror that answer. And yeah, it is, for me, it's about finding a balance, because it's making sure that whenever you go to training, whenever you're on track and competitive, that you're the best that you can be. You strive to be almost perfect in what you do, and be as competitive and as quick as possible, but also about finding a healthy balance and making sure that you maintain a good lifestyle, so you can be happy within yourself and happy within your mind. Because I always find if I'm not happy overall as a person, like outside track, inside track, whatever, I'm not going to run quickly. So for me, it's all about maintaining a healthy balance, but also trying to be the best athlete that I can be.
Coming off our national championship, you know, I've not run for 4 straight days in the longest while. I've not done the double in the longest while. So it was definitely something to get used to, and it was a little tiring to actually do. But, you know, I went to Prefontaine, and, you know, things didn't go I wanted it, but, you know, I'm here, and I'm hoping that now that, you know, I kind of feel like, you know, things are kind of smoothing back out, and I'm definitely looking forward to the competition tomorrow to see what will happen. I mean, the times so far that I've run are pretty consistent in terms of their drop, so I'm hoping that, you know, tomorrow will be a special day, and to have Dina, you know, in the race. I was actually seeing, you know, her 200 times were phenomenal this season. When she ran the first one, I think that was in Doha, I was like, okay. Maybe question doing the 200 for a while. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the competition tomorrow. You know, the season is still pretty long, so, you know, you just have to gauge yourself and make sure that at the right time you will get there. But, you know, 10.6 is, you know, something that I'm hoping that I'll be able to achieve this year.
I'm feeling very excited. It's always a pleasure to come here and compete almost at home, because I live in Geneva, just close to Lausanne. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I know I had some bad experience here, and last year was better, as you said, and I'm pretty confident that tomorrow will be the good one for me.
competed in several distances this year, the 5,000, 10,000, the semi, the 2 miles, semi-marathon. I mean, what is the event or the distance where you feel most at ease, where you feel you're the best?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me here. You know, it's my first time in Lausanne, and every time I try to come to Lausanne, and I'm always worried because I know they run fast here, so I need to be prepared. So this time around I came prepared. And back to the question is that this is a different year, you know, after Brussels, Diamond League, you know, they went bananas, you know, they went fast, and I figured out it's time to work on my strength, work on my weakness, and improve on some aspects. So doing the half marathon was just to get a lot more strength to build, you know, and just you know, like the half marathon and the 10K, it's good for strength, and you don't go to war, you know, like when you go to war, you know, you have to go to war prepared, you know. I always say, like, you have to go to war, like, don't go with a toothpick, go with a sword, so that when the enemy comes, you know, you're prepared. So I guess I'd like to say this year I'm prepared, and just everything is all based on the World Championships this year. So
how do you explain the difference of performance between the race on the road and the track?
Question des réseaux sociaux, comment est-ce que vous expliquez la différence des performances ou les performances sur la route et la piste?
Yeah, well, I can say it's about the approach of an athlete, the way you look at on the perspective of how you're going to approach the, you know, each individual kind of perspective. But to me, I would say the road race really requires a lot of strength and speed endurance. But the track, you need a lot of, most of it is about the mind and speed, yeah.
And maybe more tactical too?
Yeah, that's why I say it's about the mind and, you know, speed, yeah.
Fascinated about this mentality thing that you've all touched upon. So, kind of, Paul, on the back of Stanford last week, is there anything that you will change going into this race? Because you finished so fast there. Will you maybe gamble a little earlier?
Yeah, the race in pre-classic was good, you know, like the way things played out, you know. This year has been very slow for me. For example, when I did the half marathon, you know, the roads is, I don't know how Joshua does it, but the roads is very different from the track. You know, like this year I lost some speed towards early during the season because I was focusing more on strength and not the speed. So the aspect of speed, I lost it. So so back coming into pre, you know, like I was just coming in to have a good race. Now, like I already have speed and I have everything. So now it's tomorrow would be another good race. You know, like I'm just trying to not to put too much pressure on myself and try to pick at the right time, which is October, the World Championships. You know, like I always say every day, you know, if there's a day that I'll die this year, maybe if I die this year, it's the Doha World Championships. I've chose that one day. That's the one day that, let it be. If I can die that day, it's all right. But tomorrow, it's fine. Tomorrow, I'm just having fun. But that one day, it's what matters. So
pas du tout inquiet, surtout très content de pouvoir revenir sur le circuit et de pouvoir être guéri. Maintenant, je sais qu'il me faut un peu de temps pour retrouver tous mes repères de haut vol, mais voilà, je compte bien sur demain soir pour retrouver un peu d'altitude. Ouais.
I'm not too worried by my early of my season so far. I know I was injured, so now I'm really happy to be back and to be competing and training injury-free again. And of course, I look forward to tomorrow night, and then now really hope that I can start jumping high again.
Who had the record in? You had the stat sheet. I think it was Brad Walker who had the record at 591, and in 2016 was lucky enough to jump 92, and then 2017 me and Pavel Wojciechowski jumped 593. He and I think fondly back on that moment. It's one of the records that we share around the world. It's a funny thing when you go from stadium to stadium around the world and you realize everywhere you go it's as high as you can jump. You know, Mondo jumped 593 in Prefontaine the other day to beat me, and I'm like, wow, that's a stadium record here in Lausanne. That's pretty high. Way too dang high for us most of the time. But if you have the chance, if you have a pretty day, and you get the opportunity to only put it 1 centimeter higher, it could go down for sure. It may not be me though.
No, after your following you 6:05 in Berlin and this amazing event of yours, how hard was it to get back on track or back on earth and clear 6 meters again?
I don't know if necessarily. I don't know. That is kind of a tough question, but I mean, I don't think it. I think it was just as hard as it was last year to make 6 meters this year because 6:05. The stars just aligned that day. Everything was perfect. As you could see from the results, it was obviously a great day to jump, and it was just this championship environment where everybody was just jumping really high. But I feel like I'm better than I was last year, and I couldn't have made 6 meters this time last year, I don't think. And so that's the goal going into every year, is trying to just keep improving. So even though I jumped the 6:05 last year and I haven't jumped 6:05 this year, I definitely feel like I'm a better pole vaulter than I was. And sometimes you just have this perfect meet where everything comes together, and that was that night in Berlin. But I think I'm better. I think I'm better now.
The fact that there's so much camaraderie and friendship amongst you pole vaulters and amongst pole vaulters in general, like you cheer for each other, you share laughter, jokes with each other, you even advise each other on the running up before the event. How do you explain this, which is so special in athletics?
I put me like that for it. Oh, come on. Disclaimer. We don't have that much fun. We have the most fun at home with our wives. And me and Reno, we brought our ladies with us here today. There's mine in the back over there. And Anais is around here somewhere with a little Iris. That's our good luck, and that's where we have the most fun, right? Just disclaimer. But, Mondo, don't bite me like that with that face. You over there? Yeah.
No, I believe you.
Okay. Well, anyway, I always like to have a good time when I jump, and I know Mondo has grown up in this sport the same way I have, and he has fun by competing. And Renault used to think I was crazy. Every day he's like, who is this American squirt that'll be here today and not be here tomorrow? Why does he keep bothering me? Why does he keep smiling at me? Why does he keep showing up all these places? I keep beating him. Why does he keep showing up? And it just drew me even more to the sport because every time you get better, you get to be more of the club, right? And I remember the first day I jumped 6 meters. I don't know if he did it for you because you were there. This man here, he texted me. He says, "Welcome to the club, brother." And I said, "Okay, that's pretty cool. Now I'm hooked for sure." And then once I won the world championships, he says, "Sam, I used to think you were crazy, but now I just know you're a good guy." So we're just all kind of walking the same path, doing the same job. It's our dream job for sure. I couldn't see myself doing many other things, but we're pretty lucky to be out here on the track for you guys.
Alors,
le truc, c'est que j'espère que je vais sauter moins haut le moins de temps possible. Donc là, ça fait déjà 2 concours. Alors, le premier était, on va dire, légitime. Le deuxième, j'étais frustré parce que j'avais fait des meilleures choses à l'échauffement qu'en compétition. Après, voilà, je suis conscient que j'ai un certain retard par rapport à la préparation face à mes adversaires, mais l'objectif, il est d'être bon au mois de septembre au championnat du monde. Et par rapport à ça, je suis en train de tenir plutôt la bonne barre. Mais voilà, après, je pense que j'ai la chance de pouvoir faire ce que j'aime. Et pour moi, c'était plus ou moins inconcevable de me dire je suis réparé, mais j'attends de sauter que quand je pourrais sauter haut et de regarder les autres à la télé s'amuser. Donc c'est pour ça que j'ai fait le choix de faire des compétitions jusqu'à présent en étant en étant en deçà de mes prestations habituelles, mais parce que je sais que c'est aussi quelque chose qui va me permettre de me booster et de, je veux dire, j'accepte pas la défaite comme ça facilement, et ça me permet de retourner après à la maison, de retravailler encore plus dur pour justement franchir des paliers, je l'espère, plus rapidement. Donc c'est pour ça que je suis très impatient d'être demain soir pour essayer de corriger ce que j'ai pas réussi à mettre en place la semaine dernière. Et puis voilà, après on sait que de toute façon le juge de paix il sera à Doha, et à partir de ce moment-là, je pense que j'aurai tout le temps pour être en forme, quoi.
Well, I have to accept that I'm just lagging behind my competitors and myself compared to other years. The two events I've done so far are quite different. One was really was not good and was frustrating, and the other was much better, but frustrating in a way that I had done much better during the warm-up. Now I keep also remembering myself that I'm really happy and lucky to do what I'm doing, and I definitely preferred to come back to competing, even though I knew I wasn't at my best yet, because I didn't want to just wait and watch the other guys on TV. I really much prefer racing or jumping with them. This is much more motivating, and I'm definitely not the one to accept failure easily. So the more or the harder time I have during the competitions, the more it pushes me to train more. And now I can't wait to do better tomorrow than I did last week. Social media asking about your habits in the last 24 hours before competition. Like, do you go to bed at the same time? You eat the same things? You do the very same things at the same time?
You do the same dreams?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I'm not very superstitious or anything, so I'm not gonna go too crazy on everything. But I just try to eat a decent meal and go to bed at a normal time. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but yeah, I just try to get good sleep. Nothing too crazy. Nothing. Pretty much what they do, I would say, just without the wife.
Bon, je ne suis pas du genre à être superstitieux, mais j'essaie d'avoir des habitudes normales, donc manger normalement, dormir à une heure plus ou moins décente, et puis voilà, faire quelque chose de normal. J'imagine que eux aussi font à peu près la même chose, à l'exception près que moi je n'ai pas de compagne.
That's true. You do the same thing?
Yeah, definitely the same thing. Mostly, you got to go all the way across the ocean to hang out with your buddies. Sometimes, me and Mondo, we'll watch a movie. Me and Renaud will play some high stakes ping pong at Prefontaine. That's probably why we both got beat by Mondo last time, is because he wasn't playing ping pong with us.
You think one day you can break the world record?
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool, I would say. That's the dream. I would love to break the world record. But I could see there being a scenario where I have a successful career without breaking the world record, of course. But yeah, it's always been a dream of mine, to break the world record. So yeah, I hope so. But I mean, Renaud can have it for now. It's good for now, yeah.
Battre le record du monde, évidemment. What do you prefer, jumping inside like in a normal stadium, or rather on city events? That's the first question. And second question is, what is your favorite place to compete?
Pour la première question, en fait, les deux sont super intéressants. L'année dernière, l'expérience de Lausanne était incroyable. Après, il faut se dire que sur les très grands rendez-vous, c'est incomparable dans le sens où jamais on pourra avoir plus de 50 000 personnes sur une place dans la rue autour d'un sautoir, chose que l'on peut avoir dans un stade. Donc ça crée quand même une certaine émulation qui est juste incomparable. Mais après, l'intérêt, c'est de pouvoir avoir les meilleures conditions possibles. Et il est évident que des fois, les stades sont faits pour essentiellement le sprint. Et quand on a des sautoirs qui sont dans la demi-lune, on a souvent du vent qui est très compliqué, alors que dans la ligne droite, il est parfait. Alors que quand on est hors d'un stade, forcément, on fait en sorte que le sautoir soit dans le meilleur sens possible. Donc voilà, on a des chances d'avoir des meilleures conditions dans ce sens-là. Mais après, je dirais que les meilleurs endroits pour sauter haut, pour se faire plaisir, c'est là où on saute haut. Donc ça peut être n'importe où dans le monde, quoi.
Well, both city events and in-stadium events are really interesting for us. And I remember last year jumping here by the lake. It was just an amazing experience. Now for major championships, major events, you can't really compare because you'll never be able to have plus over 50,000 spectators on a city event like you can have in a stadium. So you can't really compare. What actually matters is to have the best conditions. And then when thinking about it, actually, we all know that the stadium is not made for pole vaulting. It's made for sprinting or for running. And very often when our mat is in the curve and not on one of the both straight sides of the stadium, well, we know that we often very often have a lot of wind, and it's not an ideal for us to jump there. Whereas when you have a city event, you'll make sure that you have your venue set up in such a way that you have the best possible wind conditions. With regards to where is it best to compete, well, the best is where you have the best memories, where you jump the highest, so that can be anywhere in the world.
You just turned pro a few weeks ago. What does it change for you, and is that a relief to turn pro finally?
It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't change a crazy amount. You know, I think there's maybe just a little bit of added pressure on me. You know, now that it's my job officially. You know, last year I think it was a lot more loose, and I could kind of just do whatever I want because you know I knew I was going to go to college. You know, following the season, so you know whatever I did wasn't. I mean, it was a big deal, of course, but you know it wasn't the end of the world either way. But yeah, I think there's a little more pressure on me now, of course. But day-to-day life, you know, I feel like everything's the same. I can just go to meets and make money, pretty much. I think that's the only difference.
Given that the World Championships take place really late this year, how do you manage to plan your season? I imagine in South Africa you started really early in the South African summer, and you have to be in shape all the way until October.
For me, like keeping my shape in a good way, I'm just gonna take it easy. Just take one competition at a time, not dwelling around the world and not focusing more on what's the competition now. My focus on defending my title, and also like I'm jumping feet on all the competition that I'm doing now. So there's nothing special at the moment. I'm only focusing on the world champs.
This jump so close to the world record, did you feel like it was a special jump that you had landed really far, or was it a jump like any other?
Bueno, en ese momento me sentí muy bien, sabía que estaba bastante bien preparado. Había salido una etapa invernal que no fue como esperamos, pero fue bastante bien. Fui mejorando poco a poco y sabía que iba a llegar a esta competencia muy bien. No, quizás no para saltar más de 8.90, pero sí para alcanzar una marca por encima de 8.70, 8.60, más o menos así. Estaba preparado para esa competencia, llegué muy bien. Aunque el aire me favoreció mucho, sé que tengo bastantes condiciones y que estoy bien preparado para lograr marcas de este tipo de nivel.
Bon, j'avais eu une saison d'hiver relativement bonne, même si pas aussi bonne qu'espérée, mais quand même pas mal. Donc on savait que j'étais relativement en forme et qu'on pouvait espérer 8,60, 8,70, de là à faire 8,90. C'est vrai que c'était un très beau résultat, même si le vent m'a un petit peu trop poussé. Maintenant, ce que je sais, c'est que j'étais déjà en forme et que je suis en forme et que je pourrais nouveau m'approcher autant en vue des championnats du monde. So, this winter season had been pretty good, not as good as we had hoped for, but it was pretty good. So we knew that I was getting into a pretty decent shape, and I could probably expect to jump 860 or 870. Now 890 was really a great result, even though indeed I had too much tailwind. That nevertheless showed that I'm getting into where I want to be, and that we are getting into good shape. Juan Miguel jump. Is there a skill or something you see in him which you would love to have but you don't?
I can say I love his attitude towards the professional long jumper in the world. As his age, like to be able to take the pressure from the bigger athletes like me and Jeff Henderson. He came on with a surprise, like a 19 years old coming to jump with us and give us a whipping. You know, it's something that's great. You know, and what I love about him is always humble and always excited. Always give me a pat on my back, saying that let's go have fun and stuff like that. But also, what I love about him is so humble. Yes, he's not like a big-headed. He's just there on his ground, and he's a good jumper. First of all, he's a good competitor, and I'm looking forward to push each other to get that 9 meters. And it's gonna happen. It's gonna be like I think it was all the world champs. Carl Lewis and Mike Powell who make that in the world champs.
Lou, something that strikes me every time I see you jump is that whenever you jump, you seem to be the happiest man in the world. Is that something like, are you as happy, or do you have these same expressions when you do whatever in life? Are you always like that?
I'm just this happy soul because I had so much struggle in my life, so I conquered that. So that gave me so much like ambition and strength to be smiling every day, because I don't know what's the issue of not smiling, because you got a new day and always keep on smiling. It doesn't matter for me if I win or lose. I always keep my smile out there, and I'm just a happy person, you understand, because life will always give you lemons. You have to change those lemons to lemonade, you understand? So the life goes on. Why we have to cry for spilled milk? Yeah.